I'm here at a waterfall in the Catlins area, which is on the southeast side of New Zealand. I'm not going to try pronouncing the name of it, but I will put it up on the screen for you. It's a really beautiful place, short walk through the forest to get here. It is quite loud, so I'm going to see if I can maybe get somewhere quieter and try and have a little bit more of a thoughtful conversation. So sorry, I'm going to put the waterfall behind the camera because otherwise I think it'll be a bit too loud. Hopefully this is a little bit easier to hear me. And they built this viewing deck here that I'm standing on. I was walking around, seeing if there was maybe an alternative composition, but I actually thought it worked really well from the viewing deck. There's some trees that have overhung the water down below, and I thought it provided some really nice framing. Of course, with these waterfalls, I want to put on my ND filter. I really like to have the long exposures really show the movement of the water. So I've already taken my shot. I actually was using a 6-stop ND filter. I was also using the polarizer, just reducing some of the glare off the water in the little pools that forms below the waterfall. And I actually, it's a really nice day, so I'm not wet or cold, but I was wearing this jacket because I thought it contrasted really nice with the scene, and this is one of the photos I put myself in the scene. So I set up the self timer, I ran into the scene, and I got a few shots of myself in the scene. It's not something I do too frequently, but I really like it because it helps provide a little bit more of a story, as well as a sense of scale. I was standing below these waterfalls, and they're not massive, but they're certainly sizable, and just little old me at 6 feet tall standing below them. So I was taking some both vertical and horizontal compositions, just playing around with it. The sun was coming in and out as I was saying, so sometimes it was providing glare, other times it was providing some really nice contrast within the scene. So I definitely didn't take just one photo, I took a few, I waited a little bit. The scene's always changing, but it's a really beautiful place, and I think I got a shot that I really, really like. We made it, and I think it was worth the drive. I'm gonna get out of the falls again just because of the noise, but this was probably only about 15 minutes from the 15-minute drive from the other falls, so I think it was easily accessible. Bit of a longer walk, and it's amazing how much the landscape changes. The other forest felt very tropical, whereas this one certainly did not. Both beautiful in their own right, just very different. I haven't reached the other one, but I believe there's 2 falls here. This one I'm going to try pronouncing. I'll probably still get it wrong, but Matai Falls. I was already jumping around a little bit, looking for a few compositions. This is really interesting. I think there's so many different ones that work. There's a fallen branch there that really provides some interesting framing as well as foreground interest. So I've been trying to use that. Sorry, I almost just swallowed my gum. I did bring my jacket. I think I might try getting to this scene as well, but I don't want to cause a distraction given that there is a big branch there already. I don't think at least for this fall, I don't think I need to use a longer ND filter just because the water is really falling quite quickly. So even at ISO 100, f10, f11, it's a long enough exposure to really capture the motion. Definitely still using a polarizer though, which is also creating a little bit of a ND filter. Polarizers can range in 1 to 3 stops just because of the way they work. And we're here under the forest canopy. There's not really much sun coming through, but there is some. And I'll show you what a polarizer can really do, just even against the rocks here. It really pulls out some of the details. I'm gonna wrap up here right now. I spent a little bit longer here than I thought I would. It's, you know, this isn't exactly what I envisioned. I like this waterfall a lot more than I thought I would. The scene is very dynamic. There's some interesting framing with the sun and the clouds, casts shadows and light in different spots in the scene. It was changing from one shot to the next, and that was very interesting. So I think that's why I stayed here as long as I did. I did end up staying on the viewing deck. I did walk up a little bit, but I think given the height and just the positions where I could actually put my tripod and camera, the viewing deck actually made the most sense for the framing. So I got quite a few that I really like. I was doing both horizontal and vertical, changing my angles ever so slightly. It really changes the scene, and I think I'm gonna walk out of here with a few that I like, at least a few that I like. I was only using a polarizer here, as I was mentioning earlier, so it was helping to also act as a mini ND filter, so I was getting shutter speeds no longer than 4 or 5 seconds. Obviously with an ND filter I could throw that on and get an even longer exposure, but sometimes you can overdo it and the motion just becomes surreal, and I don't always go for a surreal look, so I wanted to capture the motion. The water was falling fast. I think I did that, and I think I'm gonna walk out of here with, like I said, at least a few shots that I really like. So I'm just leaving the last waterfall now, and that one's called Horseshoe Falls. It was only a 2-minute detour from the previous one, so well worth a visit. I ran up, took a few snapshots with my phone, but I didn't set up with my tripod or my DSLR to get another shot. I just didn't see a composition that I was really loving, and you know, there's no need to force it if it's not there for you. So you know, maybe in different weather, or if it had just rained, it could look very different and it might speak to me differently, but it wasn't there, and I did just photograph 2 waterfalls that I did like, so I have no doubt that I will see more waterfalls and amazing scenery here in New Zealand, but I'm gonna pass on that one.